birthday to you.
Tied up and beating by her own husband, former King Misuzulu, first wife reveals. Please do not forget to like the video and subscribe to this channel as you watch. In a world, the stories of women are often unheard. A horrific story of the first wife of King Misuzulu of the Zulu nation appeared, where the dark facts of domestic violence were shed. This video is exposed to the life of a woman who won a prominent title once, but she found herself based on a network of mistreatment and betrayal. Her story is not just suffering. It is a testament to flexibility, courage, and fighting for justice. The former queen was born in a family with deep cultural roots, and she grew up with the values and traditions of the Zulu nation. From an early age, it has been prepared for the life of leadership and service. Her marriage to King Misuzulu was seen as a power union, a partnership that would support the legacy of Zulu's ownership. However, the truth of her life as a queen was far from the fictional story that many imagined. Initially, marriage seemed harmonious. The couple is often seen together on public occasions, which embodies the example of the royal partnership. However, behind the closed doors of the royal palace, the atmosphere was different. The first signs of problems on the surface began shortly after their marriage. The exact changes in behavior, emotional withdrawal, and the growing feeling of isolation were distinguished to the beginning of the turbulent relationship. Over time, the former queen began trying the darker side of her husband's personality. What began as oral differences that escalated to emotional manipulation, and in the end, physical violence. The woman who stood beside the king found him besieged in a nightmare, struggling to reconcile her love with the reality of his abusive behavior. Home violence is often characterized by a cycle that includes tension, an explosive accident, and a period of reconciliation. The previous queen's experience was not different. After each violent episode, her husband was expressing his remorse, bathing her with gifts and apologies, and promised that he would not happen again. This cycle created a confusing dynamic, leaving her feelings of detention and not sure of her reality. The isolation she lived was deep. As a member of the royal family, he was expected to maintain the destination of perfection, to support the dignity of ownership. This pressure has made it difficult to seek help or trust in others about its suffering. The stigma surrounding domestic violence, especially in the context of kings, increases the feelings of shame and impotence. The turning point came in her story when ill-treatment escalated to a level that she could no longer tolerate. One of the fateful nights, after a particular violent episode, she found herself restricted and her husband hit her. This brutal act was not just a physical attack. It was a profound violation of her dignity and humanity. At that moment, I realized that she was no longer able to remain silent or collusion in her suffering. With the help of a reliable friend, she found the courage to escape from the limits of her abusive marriage. This decision was not taken lightly. It was fraught with fear and uncertainty. Leave the marriage, especially the ceremony that is celebrated publicly, comes with a set of challenges. The former queen faced the arduous task of rebuilding her life from A to Z, all during the move and the complexities of royal expectations and societal rule. After escaping from the clutches of her abusive husband, the former queen began a healing journey. This process was not written. It was full of setbacks, moments of doubt, and the ongoing effects of shock. The treatment and support groups requested, and communicating with other survivors of domestic violence who understood their pain. Through these links, she began to restore her voice and identity. Her journey also included defending other women who found themselves in similar situations. She became an audio supporter of domestic violence awareness, using its platform to shed light on the case and encourage others to seek help. The echo of her story with many inspired a movement within her community to address the stigma surrounding domestic violence and support for survivors. The former queen experience highlights the complex interaction between culture, traditions, and domestic violence. In many societies, including the Zulu nation, there are beliefs in depth about the roles of sexes and holiness of marriage. These cultural standards can create barriers for women who seek to escape abusive relationships. The work of the previous invitation to the Queen aims to challenge these standards and enhance the message of empowerment and flexibility. It emphasizes the importance of education and awareness in breaking the abuse cycle. By engaging with community leaders, teachers, and youth, it seeks to promote a culture of respect and equality. Her efforts are not only about her recovery, they are about creating a safer future for future generations. The story of the former queen sparked talks on domestic violence within the Zulu community and beyond. He encouraged other survivors to advance, exchange their experiences, and seek help. The vision of her story also prompted discussions about the responsibilities of the authority to address and prevent domestic violence. In a society in which silence often prevails, her courage to speak has become a beacon of hope for many. It has shown that it could rise from the ashes of abuse, restore a person's life, and call for change. Her journey is a reminder that there is no one alone in his struggle and that healing is possible. The story of the first wife of King Misuzulu is the story of flexibility, courage, and pursuit uncomfortable for justice. It is a strong reminder that domestic violence can affect anyone, regardless of its position or background. Her journey from the victim to the survivors to the lawyer is an inspiration for many, highlighting the importance of speaking publicly and seeking help. While we think about her story, it is important to the extent of the broader effects of domestic violence and the need for societal change. By supporting survivors, challenging cultural standards, and enhancing awareness, we can work towards a future that no one must bear the pain of abuse in silence. The former legacy of the Queen will continue to inspire and empower others, proving that even in the darkest times, there is always a path to healing and hope.